Hey guys, different video here. Uh, I just watched the Infinity War trailer the other day, and it got me thinking. Like, Marvel has come a long way. They made Iron Man back in 2007, and they've developed nothing but great films since then. Like, I could hardly find any flaws in those films because they're just so damn good. There's not really a bad one that I thought I should stay away from that. No, they've just been on the ball. So it got me thinking, which one of them are the best ones? So I thought making a list of my own would be fun, like a top five favorite MCU films that they've done. And it's not a ranked list or anything like that. There's not really a favorite that I have out of the five that I picked. But whenever I think of Marvel films or the MCU films, I instantly think of these films. These are simply the best that they have to offer, in my opinion. And if you have a list of your own, please post it down in the comments below. I love hearing other people's opinions. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I just love discussing about like films. I just love talking about movies, what's so great about them, the impact that they've made. Uh, yeah, so I had to talk about Marvel because it's just stuck in my mind. I had to throw this video in there. So without further ado, let's just get this list started. And kicking off our list here is Spider-Man Homecoming. It's one of the more recent films that they've made, and it's actually one of the better Marvel films. I mean, they totally captured what was so special about Spider-Man. I mean, this is arguably the best Spider-Man film ever made, ever since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And Tom Holland, who portrayed Spider-Man in the film, he really knew how to balance between Peter and Spider-Man. Like when I was watching the movie in the theater, I was totally convinced that he was Spider-Man. He did such a good job, like in the film. Like the fanboy in me, like I just wanted to go ah, and he had a really good counterpart in the film, Vulture, played by Michael Keaton. He has a he has a really weird way of playing bird people. Like, yeah, he was the original Batman back in '89, and he's the Birdman, and now he's the Vulture. But I thought he was one of the better villains in the MCU. He definitely had his motivations heading into it, and I thought it was just a great film overall. I mean, I really love Spider-Man, so hopefully when they make more Spider-Man films in the future, they can be just as good, if not better. And next on my list is Guardians of the Galaxy. This one really took me by surprise. I remember going into the theater not knowing a single thing about these characters because I grew up watching Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, Justice League. But so when I went in, I knew nothing about these characters. But as soon as that opening sequence started with Star-Lord playing the music, I was hooked, man. Like these characters were so fun to watch. Their chemistry was so great. You can't help but root for these guys. They're technically like outlaws, but oh my gosh, it's just so fun. Like a lot of sci-fi action involved. Some of it kind of reminded me of Cowboy and Bebop. Cowboy Bebop. It's a sci-fi anime. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend watching it. But yeah, I definitely got like a vibe off of that because the characters were so damn good, and like that ending where Peter Quill was like reaching out to his mother. Oh my god, I was in tears. Like, man, I didn't think this movie would get me on a emotional level, but it did. So, really big surprise, and I think this was one of the best Marvel films out there. Next up on my list is Captain America Civil War. I always bounce back between Winter Soldier and Civil War. I remember when I watched the film, I was like, which one was better? Like Winter Soldier or Civil War? But I mean, they're both damn good. That's all I have to say. Like the sequels keep getting better and better for Captain America, and they captured essential to the book plot. I know there was a lot more characters in the comic book version. I actually have the book in my shelf, and no, but I thought it was like great overall because these characters have their own motivations, they have their own arcs, and we got the debut of Black Panther, which was awesome. He kicked ass in the film, and also the debut of Spider-Man, which you already know what I think of Spider-Man. So yeah, definitely one of the better parts of the film was the whole airport sequence. Easily one of the best ones, one of the best fights out there. Uh, and also that I noticed that in most Marvel films nowadays, there's always like that big climactic battle, and the whole thing is just one CGI fest. I have nothing against CGI. I'm more of a practical effects guy, but I mean, I find it more convincing when I see two people like going at it, like you could actually see it happening. Uh, and the big baddie was Zemo, who had the intention of ripping the Avengers apart, like keeping the team divided. So the plot was very good, and yeah, like it ended up being like an intense fight sequence between Cap and Iron Man towards the end, and it kept my heart racing because I was like, oh gosh, he was gonna win, he was gonna win, and I had a hard time picking a side too because again they each had their own motivations. You understand what each character was going through in the movie. That's why it worked so well. I don't know how Marvel keeps doing it, man. I mean, and that's why I prefer Civil War over Winter Soldier. This is definitely one of the better Marvel films. And also, I like to mention that this Civil War I thought was a better Batman versus Superman film than the actual Batman versus Superman film. So yeah, I know there's no competition. I know. Well, we don't know that for sure, but I mean Marvel has been on the ball. So yeah, I had to put that out there. And next up is the Avengers. Yeah, you guys all know this is easily one of the best ones that they've done because this is the one where they assembled the team together. And you got to see these characters interact for the first time on the big screen, which was amazing, by the way, because I remember people were talking about it all the time, like outside of the theater. They were saying it was like an event like no other. It was just so damn good, so good. It surpassed my expectations. And another thing I liked in the movie was Loki, one of the best Marvel villains in the MCU. Like, I really love him as an actor, as a character. He's just really good. And the actors who portrayed the superheroes are also very good. They really know how to nail the characters, so they were pretty convincing in their part as well. And yeah, so pretty damn good film. Like I find myself watching this again and again. Uh, I mean, it's really good. And another film that I actually don't have right now because the thing is it's still in theaters. It's actually Thor Ragnarok. It's not the best Marvel film, but it's definitely one of the better films I'd say out there. Because it knew when to take itself seriously and it knew when to be funny. Because Marvel is known for having that lighthearted comedy in the film. And I was laughing when in those funny sequences. And what was his name? The rock guy. The Korg. I think that was his name. Oh my god, he was hilarious, dude. And Jeff Goldblum was also pretty funny because I just love that actor. And the movie's pretty self-aware too. They the characters are pretty aware of what they've been through and how much time has gone by, and they're just perfectly aware. And it's funny, and it has an 80s vibe too. And another thing I noticed was that they put Led Zeppelin, like they actually put the immigration song in the movie. I thought it was just a trailer thing, but uh no, but they actually put that in the film like twice. And I was like, wow, they actually put that. So I was like hooked right off the bat. Um, yeah, it's a pretty amazing film. I'd say it's better than Guardians Volume 2, but both films I thought were pretty damn good. Uh, yeah, it really took me by surprise. This was like the Winter Soldier of the Thor films, basically. And another film, more films that I mentioned. Like I had a hard time trying to pick a list here, like trying to set up the whole thing because it took a lot of time for me. I didn't realize how hard it was. So more movies I like to mention is Iron Man, The Winter Soldier, um, Guardians Volume 2. Uh, I would like to say Age of Ultron, but I mean that's off the top of my head. And yeah, that covers up my list of things. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Like, do you have a list of your own? Please tell me in the comments below. Once again, if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up because I love discussing films. Like they've made such an impact in our pop culture, especially Marvel films as of late. And yeah, if you want me to do more lists, please let me know. Because I just love this. So, yeah. And the Infinity War is coming out pretty soon, like, coming in May 2018. So, look forward to that. I have nothing but high hopes for that movie. And yeah, peace out, you guys.